Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2 from Nation Wars 2019. We have in the playoffs the countries of Italy and France. Both powerhouses in StarCraft 2 with powerhouse players. Let's introduce one of them. One of the youngest players in WCS, and by no mistake and no accident, one of the most accomplished. The Cyril Slayer. It is Reynor, representing Italy. And in the top left, the Frenchman, the Terran, from Infinity Gaming Europe. It is Clem. A big fan of micro-intensive Terran plays. He's a Terran at heart, and he had, at Home Story Cup, he had the foresight, I guess, and the objective analysis that Terran might not be getting 100% screwed over by this patch, which is a big admission for a Terran, so to his credit. Terran players are used to going back to the default talking point, which is Terran is the hardest race all of the time, no matter what, even if they win everything. But credit to Clem, where credit's due. Let's see if he backs it up against Reynor. Now, this is, by the way, this is match 5. I had to check. I was recommended this one specifically. I believe they faced more. I think we'll probably show them. I don't know exactly all the formatting, and it was a team kill format, which means there are 3 players on a team, and other players can just watch the main cast. All right, watch Roddy and friends, Roddy and crew break down the matches. But I wanted to take a look myself, and what better way than to yell at my computer screen while I'm doing so. Jimmy, let me feel like I'm there. All right, I want to be down on simulacrum, simulacrum. Whatever, the gray space station map of this pool. As the first Reaper comes through. Gonna jump right into the main. Well, not jump, just slide up the ramp. A bold play. This is the part of the game where you can see how confident a Terran player is in their micro. Some players will just poke around the edges. There's a lot that can be read into with the first Reaper. And believe me, there's a whole lot, like, Zerg players get real rustled up about it. There's a whole, if you lose 2 Zerglings, that's probably a bit too much. 3 Zerglings, not alone a drone. In 2019, losing a drone to the Scouting Reaper is like, are you from North America or are you just naturally bad? And that's usually the indicator. We do have Reactored Hellions, 2 out. Oh, no, Reynor! He saves the drone, but another one under attack.
What a save!
Clem is right up in his grill. He's been in the main for quite a while yet, which means Reynor has been free to start his creep tumors. He just runs by with the Hellions. Incredibly bold. He dips back out. He's gonna take a lot of damage from the Queens. I don't think he expected it, but wait. The Reaper, it got a drone. Oh, Reynor. Clem is just YOLOing in here with most of his units. The Hellions take a bruising, but they're all still intact. The Reaper makes it out right before Zergling speed finishes. Reynor went for a quick third base, which means his Zergling speed slightly delayed, and Clem making great use of it. Zergling speed still not done. 6 more seconds. The Hellions are roasting. The very first unit goes down for Clem, but he's in the main. There's only 1 Queen to defend. He won't stop. He can't stop. The Reaper still alive, finally goes down. Only 2 drones so far. It looked bad. He just keeps throwing units to see what's going to stick. Runs around in between the creep, but finally enough Zerglings from Reynor. He should. Oh. What? Okay. The Zerglings they overshot a little bit. But another round is coming in. The Liberator is spotted. I feel like Clem is at the point of diminishing returns here. He only killed 3 drones for 4 Hellions and a Reaper. He's actually going to be able to siege up the Liberator. Reynor not responding very quick. He was too busy worrying about what's happening on the other side of the mountain. Only the larva will be hit for now. The Queen dodges around, but still quite an annoyance. The Zerglings roasted by the defensive Hellions. And later third. This wasn't a super quick, I'm getting it as I'm building Hellions third, no. From Clem, he wanted to put that pressure on. He follows up with a couple barracks. And he is going to be going bio. I expected nothing less from this player. Brenda and her knitting crew continuing to spread the creep. Oh my god, what a player, Clem. Lining up the rocks to kill a creep tumor. Pro gamer move. Always looking for those fancy plays. There's not a spore. There are 57 drones and counting from Reynor. Liberator finds an opportunity. Getting a few kills, some mining time. Zerglings engaging Hellions in the center of the map. The Hellions trying to juke through, but Reynor not having any of it. Liberator sieges up again, a pretty nasty positioning there. 3 queens are more than enough to push it away. 1 Hellion does survive the altercation. But still, 63 drones. Where are the evolution chambers, though, for Reynor? He can't translate this economic lead into any sort of army or just map control. If Clem's going to be having 1-1 tanks, a third base, there's nothing he can really do to challenge this in the near future, despite having so many drones. So Clem, he's got his siege tank. He's got enough Marines that Reynor doesn't feel comfortable trying to attack in. He's actually going to push out. Well, he's got Medivacs now, which is get out of his Zergling surround free card. A few Banelings on the way, but Clem, despite a little bit of shakiness on the commitment, it wasn't really shaky, it was just a big commitment, which it sometimes will pay off, and this time it didn't. How many Zerglings are back at home? A couple Banelings. He's going to cut through all these creep tumors, cutting down the creep in front of the fort, looking to target. There's only 2 Banelings in the mix here, and without Baneling speed, they can easily be gunned down. A Zergling counterattack, though. Reynor's trademark will be able to take out one of the tanks. A Hellion going to draw some fire. More damage being done. Banelings on the chase. The beautiful stutter step from Clem. The Banelings just can't make it. Oh, a little bit awkward on one of those. 6 SCVs will go down. And overall, Reynor not able to put a big dent in the Clem as he continues. He's already started this +2, and Reynor's only halfway done with 1-1. +2 and +1 armors finishing up. Clem still, well, he's powered up. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 racks. He's got 2 factories done already, which means he can pump out a bunch of Widow Mines, and he's already got Drilling Claws in production. So, 2 Medivacs into the main. Oh, this is something like, for those Terran players, like, I just don't know how to beat Zerg. And this might not be your solution, but a lot of players underestimate how important it is to just keep those Zerglings out. Clem is already setting up a secondary wall, and he's not building a bunch of extraneous depots. He needs these not to be supply blocked at this time. He's actually in a pretty good place on that count. He's going to make sure no Zergling counterattacks, the way Reynor usually claws himself back into games, are going to be a major threat. Still, working on both sides. Good stutter step thus far. Drilling Claw's not quite done. +1, about to finish for Reynor. He doesn't have it yet. Great targeting out of Clem. Some Widow Mines taking out the reinforcements. The drop still working on both sides. He's tearing Reynor apart right now. Reynor going for a hive. He's going to go for the tech-based defense. But Clem continuing to push from both angles. He's got a good position here. He can target down these Banes before they complete morphing. Another one on the edge of the creep. He's setting himself up for a 2-2 timing with a bunch of tanks back at home. He's built the secondary wall, and he will continue to do so, inspired by Kybrid, of course. Oh, finally he slipped. But despite that, maintaining a supply lead. It was going to happen at some point. Zergling's going to eat some of the Widow Mine hits. He actually unburrows. Maybe that was a little optimistic here, considering how much HP these mines have. But Reynor's forced back. It's now 156 to 136 supply. Nice Widow Mine hit. Another pickup. Clem not letting up on the Medivac aggression. These Widow Mines are super dangerous. Where are the Overseers? He's just going to keep a couple units back here. But a huge Terran army streams out of the base. The reinforcements have arrived. The cavalry. He's got Widow Mines with Drilling Claws. He's got +2 attack. He has an upgrade lead. And he has a supply lead. He's just pushing his way through. Down goes an Overlord to start. Beautiful spread, both on Mines and Marine. Good luck engaging this. The Marine splitting just enough to minimize those Bane hits. It almost looks like Alpha Star is controlling. Actually, Alpha Star would be worse. considering how much APM this Frenchman has. Still, a beautiful split. Look at the supply plummet for Reynor while Clem keeps it alive. The 4th base, critical for just literal hatch production, for larva production, goes down. The Marines, the medevac has gone down, but the Marines are able to unload in time, killing some of the drones. 69 to 75 workers. Clem has an economic lead. He has an upgrade lead. He has a supply lead. And so far, he's been able to maintain it. Ultralisk is on the way. I don't think an Ultralisk is going to solve this particular problem with this many units coming across the map, this many Widow Mines. He's got 14 Widow Mines on top of the rest bio. Clem just continues working his way through. Lings and Banes continuing forward. Another big hit. And even if all the Banelings connect, every time Banelings attack, they... Oh my god, the splits! These splits are bananas. And every single time... Oh, the Widow Mine's being drawn into the medevacs. A little sloppy here from Clem. Not exactly what he wants to be doing. Almost loses his medevacs to his own Widow Mine. There's still some mines throughout everything here. The problem is that Clem, he doesn't have to be cost-effective anymore. He's got 4 bases. He's going to have 3-3. He's still got 40 more supply, most of it in army. Gonna get the pickup as well. Those medevacs all dangerously low. At risk of dying to a Widow Mine or 2. Oh, another Widow Mine. Reynor just not keeping up on having Overseers. He's actually supply blocked at 112. Not the ideal scenario. Not great splits there, but that's because he's setting up... Oh, there's another Widow Mine. They never stop. These medevacs need to go home. Another Widow Mine hit. Down to 57 drones. Clem just has to hammer in the last nails of Reynor's coffin, and he's going to be able to keep Team France going. Another... Oh my god, the Widow Mine hit gets most of the Banelings. The Marauders eat the rest. Clem barely dipping below 190. Ultralisks are not a unit. They're not for bringing you back into a game. They're for closing it out and maintaining a lead. These Ultras aren't going to solve the problem against a Terran player who has a better economy. There are Widow Mines everywhere. There's still a Marauder and a medevac in the main. The 4th base is gone again, this time on another side of the map. And Reynor will be stopped, and Clem just tearing through. The Widow Mine's doing a little bit of friendly fire, but it's a struggle for Clem to dip below 190 supply. Reinforcements. The counterattack comes through, but guess what, Reynor? You shall not pass. Widow Mines. Oh my god, he killed an Ultralisk egg. Reynor still fighting it out, but the writing's been on the wall, and the Widow Mines have been burrowed. A Liberator, Marines, Marauders, Mines, and medevacs. Units that start with M are all he needs. A true Terran's Terran, and Clem is tearing through. He wins this match, and I now realize, in order to take it for their teams, it's a best of 3, is what it comes down to. These players, in order to win, have to win a best of 3 on the back end of this playoff match. So you know what that means? Clem's up 1-0. If he wins one more, France will take it. Italy versus France, a tale decades old. Once again, game number 2 will be on World of Sleepers. Clem, who we're not sure is a robot or not, based on those absolutely ridiculous splits. These are the type of matches that Diamond players will constantly reference. But what do I mean by reference? I mean whine about. Because in the back of your heads, are you thinking like, well, I lose all my TVZs, or for you Zerg players, Zerg versus Terran. If just Cyril and Clem and Special and Maru, if they would just stop winning games, we could finally see how weak this race really is when you lose all your Marines to Banelings while you're desperately trying not to be supply blocked but misclicking your supply depot 4 times. Not that that has ever happened to me. No proxies. Reynor. Hatch gas full. I don't think, like... That game feels kinda... It felt like Reynor wasn't warmed up, almost. I don't know how many games he played before. But between the first Reaper being such a bully, the constant Hellions, and the fact that the bio pushes were doing so much, it felt like Reynor just didn't get a kickstart on his production. Like, his upgrades were late. Clem was keeping the pressure on him, but usually Reynor is not a person who's going to really crumble under that sort of pressure. Reaper on the way across. We'll see if it gets as much done. And it wasn't just the physical kills the Reaper got in the last game. It was the mental damage. I know that sounds silly, but the fact that Reaper is still in your main after all that time, continuing to harass your drones and pick off Zerglings, that is incredibly annoying. Reynor's going to take the third on the rich Vespine gas base. Nope. The Reaper on Zergling Micro, of course. I need to get my professional observer. Who's my observer? Is it Aromi? Thank you to O Gaming TV, by the way, putting on Nation Wars. We'll have Alex. I always like when I'm looking at these pro matches, because usually they have professional observers, which make my job so much easier. Because observing and casting, like, I'm no Clem, I'm no Reynor, I can't multitask that hard. Hellions on the way. The Reaper definitely not getting... It's killed one Zergling. We'll have to see where we go from here. As Reynor last game really focused on that high economy, like high drone count. And Clem was able to put more than enough together in time. It looks like he's going to be going bio again. We've already got Stim in the production tab. Ooh, creep tumor taken out. And remember, as of the most recent patch, creep tumors that are spread from other creep tumors, like they become, well, they often are after a while into the game, cannot be canceled. Which means you spread a creep tumor and the Hellions show up. Too bad. Those Hellions are now certified oncologists and your tumor will be removed. No more of that canceling. Terran players, biggest buff in 10 years. That was sarcasm. That was not the biggest buff in 10 years. Anyways. Six Hellions now. Is there a kicker? Of course, all the top Terrans have one. The Liberator darting in. Not actually going to go by the Overlord early. Oh, I love this move. He goes to the high ground where Reynor not going to be able to... Well, he can see it because it's sieged up, but easily moves it away. Won't be taking any extra hits. This base vulnerable to attack from that high ground angle. You know how long it takes the Lexington rockets to kill an Overlord? Too long. Too long is the answer. Oh, what a wraparound by Reynor. The Hellions darting onto the creep. A grenade tries to keep these alive, but there's more than enough Zerglings. Reynor not getting too greedy this time, and he will shut down Clem at every turn. The main base Spore Crawl was already enough. He's going to come back for more in the same location at the third. The drones will be pulled away. The Queen's moving into position. Should be able to deal with the Liberator. A little bit outside of it. Brenda! Why didn't we spread the creep up here? Who would think of that, Karen? God. Why would we go backwards? Forward! Forward! One. On the way. This time you can see the upgrades a lot closer to even. Reynor without nearly as much of a worker advantage, but he's translating it into effectiveness on the field. And of course, shutting down all that harass means the creep spread goes pretty unmolested for a while. 3 Rex are done. Rexes 4 and 5 not yet added on from Clem. Zergling spotting for Widow Mines, tanks. Reynor very quick on top of that, of course. Baneling Nest. Wow, a Spore Crawler. Reynor really does not like Liberty. He put Spore Crawlers on both sides of the high ground. First 2 medevacs come out. He's going to put on the pressure, but I think Reynor will have more than enough lanes to match this. 46 on the map. No Banelings as of yet, because the Baneling Nest has yet to complete. But a big Zergling counterattack, deja vu. But this time, there's only 1 tank. Are there enough Marines to deal with this? The SCVs have to be pulled away. The drop looking for an opportunity at the 4th. The medevacs will load up again. A defensive Liberator will pick away at any Zerglings that do attempt to do some damage. Clem not having a wall yet at the 3rd, regretting it a little bit. Not big damage, but does have to pull away and reinforce that location. Barracks, not only Barracks 4 and 5, but 6, 7, 8. Here we go. Bio all the way. 8 Barracks play out of Clem. He really loves his unit. He loves his units that start with M. 2-2 is started almost at identical times for both sides. It might be actually identical within a second of each other. But 8 barracks is a whole lot of units. It is going to rely on control, though. Clem seems pretty comfortable on that. It doesn't have the force multiplier opportunities of, like, heavy Widowmine, of tanks, of ranged Liberators, stuff like that. And what a counter. A Lurker Den. I feel like for so long people have neglected Lurkers against Bio because just getting the Broodlord was a more comfortable option. But now that the Infestor has been neutered somewhat, and so has the Broodlord, players exploring Lurkers as an option. And Lurkers, well, that Lurker Den building more quickly, that's a big factor. Being able to get them out before a 2-2 push comes across, for example, that's going to be a big difference. But some more Hydras on the way. Clem going to split some units forward. The Liberator looking for another opportunity, working all the way around, taking the scenic route around the creek. Oh, that's a lot of Banelings. The split's so good from Clem. Continuing to move forward. Clem, the splits are ridiculous, but he is on creep. What? Where did the Banelings go? Another round of Banelings coming through. He's splitting back. Great micro thus far, right on the edge of the creep. Any more Banelings? No, which means that Clem can stand his ground and the tanks fire back. A Liberator sieges up in a pretty nice location. Reynor not even moving the Spore yet. He's not paying attention to it. It's going to get some drone kills. Still 77 drones in the mix. He's gunning down Queens. Brenda, where are the Zerglings? Some more coming up. Lurkers on the way. The 4th base, well, the 3rd base really is under attack. The Liberator survives with 3 HP. Forces more attention out of Reynor. 145 to 145 supply. We've got Seismic Spines on the way. The Lurker range upgrade. Down goes the Liberator. Down goes the Kicker. And now Reynor throwing some Zerglings out on the map for himself. Clem continues to press forward. The Lurkers are scanned. They don't have range yet, which means they're still quite vulnerable to tanks. They don't outrange tanks once they get the range upgrade, but they get a lot closer to doing so and require a lot more to deal with. So without that range upgrade, Clem's just going to split and stim. He's going to go for it, but the Lurkers will drive him back for now. Clem scrambling on both sides. Reinforcement Zerglings work their way around. The planetary will burn! It will burn! He does not lift it. A key mistake out of Clem. He needed to keep that alive to maintain this his economy to match Reynor here. Reynor is consuming the hatchery that is currently under attack. 13 SCVs go down. Losing the 4th command center was the biggest part of this. Oh, the lurkers are gonna burrow. Will they be targeted? That doesn't matter because the tank, get over here. And Clem will be cleaned up and forced out. And now he's building 13 Marines at a time. You know what doesn't counter ranged lurkers very well? 13 Marines at a time. He doesn't have adaptive talent started, but Clem, he still has near equal army supply. The Terran army, like, you can't let up the pressure here. Every few seconds you give Reynor, he's going to get harder and harder to kill. There's a single lurker. Is there a scan? The Marines are stuck out of range of it. Each one of those spines, so devastating. He's going to target down the lurker, but the armor is good. +2 armor give those lurkers a whole lot of survivability. Clem rebuilding that 4th command center, really hurting now. The main base is drying up. The natural is going to be drying up as well. He's still got another minute or so before that happens, but after that, you cannot lose the 4th. Adaptive Talons on the way, the Lurker speed and burrow speed. The Digging Claws. But here come the Marines, the tanks. A good split, but he's not dealing with Banelings. He's dealing with Lurkers, splitting less effective against them. Hydraslings. How many lurkers on the field? 5 lurkers and just 2 tanks. You really got to be looking at, well, the starport's on the way now. Liberator's not a terrible option, especially if you can get some upgrades for him, which he does not have. The lurkers are on the chase. Reynor turning the tide. A double drop is heading out. I think it got spotted, but what is there to deal with it? Hydra speed is done, but not Hydra range. Get over here! That's not the lifeboat you wanted to be on. Guns down both medevacs. Clem coming in for a semi-base trade. He's going to take out the Spore Crawler, and now this base is under attack. A whole lot of Lings and Banes will scramble back. They do not have adrenal glands. They do not have 3-3, but neither do the Marines. He's going to be forced up and out. The wall being shredded now. There's only a single tank. Where are you going to go? Look at the spines. Look at that range. More drops headed out. Clem desperately looking for an opportunity. Just now making a planetary at the 4th. It's still vulnerable for another 30 seconds or so. And the lurkers will take full advantage of that. A tank is sieging up. Clem moving into position. A potential base trade army. But the army supply really tells the story. Will he pick up? Yanks a tank over. The lurkers are going to force the base up into the air. Another drop coming through. The lurker den is vulnerable. No lurkers at this location. Reynor forced back. The command center will survive this time around. You really got to be careful. He's going to pick up already. Going for the attack on the base. Picks up, gets out. Will he get out with the full medevac? Yes, he will for now. Another double drop headed out, but Clem is getting more and more desperate as time goes on. As the lurkers get better and better upgraded in a better and better position. I don't know if landing here is a great option, my friend. Marines will stem again. +3, about to finish up. A +3 Carapace is done, making these live... Oh, no! The Banelings find all the Marines out of those medevacs. They'll be forced to tuck tail and go home. Liberator's going to help out here. Is there enough energy for Parasitic Bomb? Not quite yet. It is quite expensive on that front. That command center, come on, you gotta repair! The lurkers will unburrow, but it doesn't take long. They can easily just move into another location. The wall was breached a while ago, and Reynor this time is looking for the kill. The tank is not nearly enough. Lings and Banes, Liberators coming up, but that's a whole bunch of Hydras. More tanks, Marines, and Marauders. There's one lurker in the back line. There's more lurkers on the high ground, inspired by the Liberators from earlier. A single lurker doing so much damage. These lurkers working straight towards the command center. Orbital not gonna pan out. He picks up and he tries to get out, but there's not much, well, there's not much ground left to retreat to. The lurkers going up, binding cloud on the only tanks in position, and Reynor takes it. One to one. That time, Clem not able to get the damage. It feels like Reynor has warmed up. And he's ready to rumble. As 1-1 is the score line. I feel like Clem is playing Terran. He plays Terran like every Terran player is convinced they should be able to play Terran. Don't get me started on, well, I should be able to just make units that start with M and be able to win every single met. It should be fine. But I feel going for the 8 rags play, it might work if you know your opponent. Well, if you did some damage early on and you keep the momentum, but against someone who has plenty of economy, has a rich Vespian geyser, and is going for lurkers? I don't know, Clem. I don't know, Clem. Maybe it's time to go to McDonald's. We're on Eternal Empire, which is Cloud Kingdom 3.5 or whatever. I don't know how many times we're going to play Cloud Kingdom, but we got at least one more season of it. In the top right, representing Italy, is Reynor. In the bottom left for France is Clem. This match decides. There were some more matches before. Go check out O Gaming TV, and I believe they upload to YouTube. They better. On YouTube as well for the main games. But they send out the replay pack, which I will probably forget to link. But do like a tiny bit of Googling, and you'll probably be able to find it if you want to watch these players yourself. Now, no proxy rags. The Honorable Terran not sending those SCVs out to kick things off. One rags expand against Hatch. Well, wait. Hatch gas pool. We're back to the playbook. Actually, looks like Reynor's a little later on the gas here. It might have been Hatch pool gas. Meaning he wants a slightly quicker third base. But Clem, the SCV says no. At least for now. Follow the reap. Will Clem go into the main again? It really does depend a little on map size. How far you're going across. First Reaper, usually matched by 4 to 6 lings. Most players choose 4. Clem very confident with that Reaper. He'll only pull back if he thinks there's a legitimate risk of taking serious damage. Gonna watch for the creep tumor. Reynor, a big fan of putting a creep tumor down first. Oh, he's gonna go for it. The Reaper. It's not gonna be enough. He really dives. And remember, the SCV is at the 3rd. So that way, if a drone, like this drone, for example. Oh my god, Clem. Oh, but the drone! You don't expect the drone! The Predator drone comes in, and the base will come up. It reset the healing on the Reaper, so Reynor will get his 3rd. These little micro plays. So mentally damaging more than anything else. Oh, gonna go for the creep tumor! Not gonna be enough with the grenade. Clem will not calm down. He has absolutely no chill with his early Reapers. But at some point, the chilling must begin in the grave. Oh my god. Die already. There are Hellions over here. God. Well, eventually, all good things. As he desperately tried to find a way out, but that's an armory. Just a hellbat attack after all of this, Clem? Baneling Nest. On the way. Viking will drive out the Overlord in the most dramatic fashion. Is the armory spotted? Absolutely not. There was no Overlord nearly in position for that. He saw the tech lab researching. I don't know. He didn't see there was no add-on on the starport either. The tech lab researching was for show. As he's going... Oh, is he going back? He may just be adding... I don't know. But it looks like there's a good chance of mech here. A good old-fashioned Hellbat all-in. Clem is at 36 SCVs. He's not building anymore. He's going to get his 3rd command center. The Zergling gets in and sees that things have been switched up. Alright, now building SCVs, but that Zergling seeing that the barracks is no longer on the tech lab is gonna... Well, alarm bells are gonna start ringing. Brenda! What are we doing out here? They're on the wrong side of the creep, and guess what? That is 4 more Hellions. They're going towards the main. He can put Hellbats in at any time. There's a whole lot of Hellions in the mix. 8 Hellions, 4 Hellbats. Of course, they can transform. They will in the main. A lot of Hellbats coming through. Reynor didn't build any preemptive banelings. He's going to be regretting that now. The juggling! As the medevac heals and micros through. A couple banelings finish at a fortuitous timing for Reynor. It's going to help with some of the Hellbats in the 3rd phase. More Hellbats on the way out. Burns a queen. All 4 survive. More Hellbats going to work. Reynor struggling on both sides. Things getting a little bit too lit for the Italian Zerg. Oh, the drones! Run! They'd only waddle so fast! 6 drones thus far. A lot of these Hellbats badly bruised. They just don't die easy. A Viking on the ground. Finally, a single Hellbat dies. A second one. He's thinning out the attack. The worker count is still 52 to 45. The queens will reclaim their territory. Oh, no, Reynor! There is a cloaked Banshee on the way. I'm just not sure where it is. Where is the Banshee? Oh, whoa! What a save!
What a save!
Just in time, the Banshee cloak finishes to keep it from dying to that last volley of Queen Fires. Clem just rallied all his units out of the map, across the map for a while. 3rd command center, nearly taken. He's going for Hyperflight Rotors. It's a Sky Terran mix here. Banshee Battle Mech. Mech armor is on the way because many of these units rely on spellcasting and just simply staying alive. So Clem has gone back to the drawing board and he came up with still the most mobile possible mech composition. But it is a mech composition. It's going to be Cyclones. It's going to be Hellbats. It's going to be armor and mag-filled accelerator and hyperflight rotors and all these fancy upgrades that we actually call the names because they happen pretty rarely. 57 SCVs to 65 drones against a player who's not really prepping very well for mech. He is going roaches. He's got an infestation pit on the way. So Clem in a pretty decent situation. He's not ahead, I would say, but he's not in an uncomfortable spot where he has to take major risks. All right, well, if Reynor had guesses before, he now knows for sure. It is mech. Armory spotted all the factories, plenty of Cyclones and Hellions. Blue Flame is on the way as well. How many queens? 9 queens for Reynor and 6 roaches is all he's got thus far, which is a little bit dangerously low when it comes to defending this base. Nothing else in production either, just starts 2 more roaches. The Cyclones are going to help out a whole lot with these roaches even before the upgrade is finished. The Banshees looking for an opportunity, but one was gunned down as he walked into the Queens. The drones being transferred doesn't find the opportunity quite yet. The Queens are on their way down to protect the base. Clem, not... This is risky business out of Reynor, just keeping all these drones down here. But once the Queens reinforce, it gets a little bit easier. The Banshee's still going to work. How many total? 3 Banshees. It's not unkillable for the Queens yet. Once you get to 6 or 7 Banshees, you start really just requiring Mutas or Corruptors. Nothing else is really going to cut it. They just start killing Spore Crawlers. Hyperflight gives a whole lot of micro potential, but still, the Spore is a danger. Dancing back and forth. These players playing pretty quick right now. There's a lot going on. More Banelings. He didn't go for Baneling speed because it's already finished. I'm a genius. Gonna try to wrap around all the way the back. Deep in the paint is Clem, but guess what? The Baneling flank is pretty damn underwhelming. The Banshee's clearing out a whole lot of creep because the Queens, well, they were committed on the left side for a while. Where did the Queens go? They were in the natural. Filing through, pushing back the Cyclones and Hellions, but the Banshees are keeping the creep at bay. Clem getting the incredibly valuable rich Vespine base. Super important to get that from mech. Where Reynor, on the other hand, Hive on the way. Nidus Network built in the main. I'd actually like to see that built maybe at the 3rd or something where you could easily rally to it. The Banshees are a good option against Niduses, as well as Swarm Hosts. So Reynor is going for Swarm Hosts. There aren't that many Banshees. This is a little sloppy losing anything here. Reynor's going to be taking another base. Overseer's looking for an opportunity. 8 Swarm Hosts in the mail. And once they're delivered through the Nidus, he's going to Nidus... Well, looks like Reynor agrees with me. He's going to Nidus his own 3rd. which I'm going to go to the Clem action cam once he hears the Nidus noise, assuming he can. I don't know what Nidus is in French, but is about the same in any language. It appears he didn't even really react to that. Oh, he scans. He scans for the Nidus right almost where it is. That's going to be a bit of a giveaway. He was looking to see if his natural is out of, well, is about to be under attack by Locust. He's preemptively moved the Banshees over here. If he can lock the Swarm hosts out of their own Nidus, but Reynor pops right back in just in time. Nidus is taken down. He draws out some of the swoops. Big attack underway. The tanks are in front. Reynor's actually going to commit. The Roach is dealing devastating damage to anyone who sticks around for a little too long. Even 3 Locusts are a real danger. They're going to kill 2, 3, 4, 5 SCVs. I'm not sure if all of them were part of that. But he chases down the Roach Ravager. Clem, this is a full-fledged... So I wonder what the other 4 players on the team are doing right now for all this to happen on the map at once. Another Nidus on the way. That's a pretty nasty positioning there. It looks like Reynor saw it with the floating command center, which is kind of convenient. He does notice at the last second. He should be able to take it out before it pops and the Swarm hosts get out. Yeah, there's no way Reynor's going to risk that. He takes it down. Another Nidus at the top center. +2, +3 for mech. +3, +2. Ranged and melee attack split here for Reynor. 75 to 82 workers in favor of the Terran right now. A TY style, get 100 workers and call it a day of mech. How much production? 8 factories in the main. The mechanical industrial complex is fully online, whereas there are only 4 hatches. I say only 4 because Reynor could probably spend more. He drops down the Locust in front. They'll eat some tank fire. Banelings trickling through. A lot of the tanks survive. That means the Roaches and Ravagers are vulnerable. The Cyclones will lock on, and they'll give chase. The Hellbats finding an opportunity in the natural, but not doing as much damage as they probably could have. Banelings will zone out the rest of the Battle Clone composition. The Hell Clone's doing pretty well thus far in keeping Clem alive, but not enough to really deal damage on the other side of the map. There are 7 Hellions, 4 Cyclones, 2 Liberators, and 3 Command Centers in production alongside those upgrades for Clem. As he starts to bank up more and more minerals, eventually you want to be able to sacrifice the SCVs for a greater army supply, which is considered a great honor to the boys. Another round of Locusts. Going to be looking for those tanks. Cyclones will attempt to lock on, but there are just too many Locusts. Going to get the first wave of tanks. Only 1 remains at the back. More Lings and Bane. Reynor not keen to sit still right now. Cyclones and Hellbats at the back. Well, mostly Hellions. No Hellbats here really in front. But Reynor once again. Oh, more Hellions running by. 9 SCVs go down, but at the same time, Reynor getting roasted. 11 drones. And counting. He can easily get to the high ground of that rich Vespine base while pushing out with his Hell Clones in the center of the map. Looking for another opportunity. A lot of drones dying for Reynor. Clem working his way across the map. The Swarm hosts off cooldown. There aren't that many tanks to work with. He's got to be careful that the swoops don't actually surround his units. 19 drones going down. Reynor going to replace some of them. Starting to realize maybe I do actually need more than 60 drones here already on that. That Swarm host wave taken down pretty easy. There's no super hive tech units here. Where are the Vipers? Where are things like Broodlords or ranged Lurkers? They just don't exist. Swarm host Nidus and a little bit in the upgrade column, but that's about it when it comes to the hive tech. The Cloak Speed Banshees moving out. Liberators giving a better held position. Reynor trying to brawl it out in the center of the map, but continually getting pushed back by the Cyclones and Hellions. The Banshees finding even more damage. Targeting the Spore first. Oh, but wait. A beautiful flank of Locusts. This could be the moment. He can drop the Locust down, targeting the Cyclones. The Liberator's not taking out nearly as many as he needs to. Reynor with the incredible flank. He finally finds the opportunity. He's running through his own corrosive bows, body blocking with Swarm hosts. The Banshee's getting the damage done, but a beautiful flank there. Clem bit off more than he could chew and couldn't quite swallow it. More tanks coming up. Reynor has to be careful not to do the same. A base is going to go down. A Liberator found drone kills. Workers dying on both sides. Clem dips to 140 supply, loses a command center. The Locusts are about 10 seconds out. The Banshee's still looking for an opportunity. There's no detection over here. He's going to be able to target down the base, unless he isn't. The Banshee's shut down. Another round of Locusts coming up. Clem getting battered under the pressure here. He's down to 150. The Orbital is under attack. Are there any tanks left? The reinforcements are on the way, but Clem down to 130 supply. The Orbital forced to lift. He still has one base to fall back to. The wall is breached, and not too many tanks left at the end of the line. The Swarm hosts are recharging those Locusts. They're all gone for now, but Reynor still feels comfortable pushing. He's still got 68 drones. 10 more SCVs have gone down. Clem holds on. He still has a tank. He still has a few command centers. He has the bottom right. He has to make as much as he can while those Locusts are on cooldown. Some Vikings on the way. Even shoots his own depot in his confusion. Another round of Locusts could easily go for the tanks. Will we have Hellbats involved? The tank's going to be targeted. Roaches and Ravagers, nearly a critical mass. Clem dipping in supply. As his countryman would say, look at the supply. 194 to 120. Reynor may have broken him. It started in the center of the map, and he fought it all the way across. Nidus is now getting involved as well for reinforcements. A big round of corrosive bile around the repairing SCVs. Clem can't stabilize. He's been knocked off balance, and he's not getting up from that. Another round of corrosive biles taking out command centers with Ravagers. Another Swarm host flank might seal the deal. A double kill with corrosive bile. The Locust gonna make it impossible to retreat. And Reynor takes it. And Reynor takes it. And Reynor takes it. In 3 maps. Battling back the mech with a layer, mostly layer-based unit composition besides upgrades. But both these players big on fighting and not so much on turtling. If at any point Clem had been able to wipe a wave of banelings or locusts and push across the map, Reynor didn't really have the units to deal with it. But Reynor fought him at literally every turn until finally he took a wrong one. Hopefully you enjoyed my breakdown of that. Make sure to check out the main cast and all the games there as well at O Gaming TV. Thank you for watching. If this is on YouTube, like and subscribe and be like, well, I guess Terran has no chance against Zerg, so Cyril is irrelevant. Or whatever it is that Terran and Zerg players say in YouTube comments and Twitch chat. But thank you for watching. Good luck. Have fun. I hope you enjoy Nation.